detailed environmental study. An emergency outfall was constructed and commissioned at Worrell to alleviate the sewage issues. This involved on the land side 2,200 feet of 18-inch ductile iron, and this work was done by the Barbados Water Authority Capital Works Unit in conjunction with C.O. Williams Company, which saw the installation of the pipeline from the South Coast plant to the Graham Hall side of the Worrell Beach. The outfall now extends 815 meters or 2,700 feet offshore with two distinct high-density polyethylene lines, HDPE pipe, which was installed by War Drilling with subcontractor Marenco Marine Limited. One 8-inch and one 12-inch line have been installed, with both of them capable of taking the entire flow from the plant individually. The disposal wells have not been used since December 21st, 2019. And the bypass pump, the disposal wells have not been used since December 21st, 2018. And the bypass pump is now only on standby for use as various sections of the sewer line are being checked. So the bypass pump that you would have seen out there by Terra Caribbean, the big blue one, that is now no longer being relied on. During the investigation and repair phase of the project, it was necessary to take a number of customers off the system. And we are presently inspecting various commercial businesses and homes to ensure compliance with the requirements for reconnection, with a view to moving them back onto the sewer at the earliest feasible opportunity. And we expect to have some connected as soon as next week. The crews work assiduously morning and night, installing pipe work in harsh conditions and often working in polluted swamp water. The pumps at the plant have been adjusted to operate more efficiently, and we have increased monitoring of the equipment and its performance and output. So the monitoring of the entire sewage network by the Barbados Water Authority has stepped up significantly. The BWA and the Ministry of Health have worked on dredging the swamp and removing deposited solids that have settled in the eastern section of the swamp during the crisis. Fish have been reintroduced back into the stream, and the natural springs have been opened up to bring spring water back into the swamp. The mosquito population as well has been significantly reduced as a result of the ongoing work. If you actually go down by the swamp and take a look, you will see the water quality, the clarity in the water in the swamp is significantly different. So you can see the bottom of the swamp and you can actually see the marine life coming back to the swamp. The water levels in the swamp have remained at an acceptable level since the commission of the outfall. As a result, there has been no need to open the sluice gate since December 21st, 2018. This also means that Worrell Beach has not been closed, and we've had no reason to close it since December 24th, 2018. The Environmental Protection Department continues to monitor the water quality and samples the beach consistently since the outfall has been in operation. And I am pleased to report that the results have consistently, comfortably passed the international standards for safety and those required by the Ministry of Health. Provisions have been made to continue conducting oceanographic studies to confirm that the outfall does not have an adverse impact on the nearshore water quality or the offshore reef. On Saturday, January 26, 2019, this was the day when people left cricket and encountered some traffic on the south coast, and we heard all the rumors that the plant exploded and that the lines overflowed and fountains were shooting up in the street, and we heard all sorts of things. I want to actually take this opportunity to thank the press for something. A number of the press last week would have seen the manhole outside Big B weeping. It was weeping for maybe an hour, but the press was there. And I just want to thank the press for not engaging in a hysterical response and actually seeking facts before publishing anything. People don't often congratulate the press on being responsible, so I actually want to take this opportunity to congratulate all of you for being entirely responsible. Where was I?
On Saturday. 26.
Right. Please edit that out here. On Saturday, January 26, 2019, we were able to successfully line the section of the sanitary sewer between the old Scotiabank building and the Graham Hall Nature Sanctuary using cure-in-place pipe technology. As a result, the breaches of the line have been sealed, eliminating groundwater infiltration that we were experiencing in that section. This work was done with the assistance of an overseas contractor, backflow compliance, and involved the use of specialized equipment flown in specifically for that purpose, to prevent having to use the traditional open cut method of repair, which would have resulted in even greater disruption on Highway 7. If we had to cut Highway 7 as was recommended to fix and repair that pipe, it would have taken probably about 6 to 7 months of having Highway 7 closed and extensive construction. And we wished, the position we took at the beginning was we will close Highway 7 as a complete last resort. I am glad that the option that we chose was successful, and I'm happy to report that the sanitary sewer has been successfully repaired without having to cut and disrupt businesses on the South Coast. In the coming week, works will be ongoing to restore the sites at the Graham Hall Nature Sanctuary, the Old Scotiabank, and the Terry Caribbean to put them back into a state of normalcy. And I want at this point in time to thank the owners of both properties for their cooperation and patience during this process. It was not easy, but they were very cooperative, and I want to thank them for that. A flushing and jetting program of the sewer lines is commencing in earnest now that we have some control of the flow on the sewage inflow and the outflow. We're also continuing testing other areas of the line using sonar and GPR technology to try to identify any other issues with the lines and to take preventative steps where necessary to minimize the events which may lead to disruption of the service. With respect to the fogs, fats, oils, and greases, one of the major issues impacting the South Coast sewer network is fats, oils, and grease. An educational outreach program for all customers, grease trap cleaners, used oil collectors, and vocational persons will be stepped up this year, along with a collaborative inspecting program using all stakeholders that have legislative power, namely the Ministry of Health, Ministry of the Environment, and the Barbados Water Authority. This approach, along with continuous sewer maintenance, should see reduced impact of fogs on the sewer network. To date, 309 commercial customers on the South Coast have received letters about the guidelines and regulations concerning grease traps. Joint stakeholder meetings are ongoing to assess and monitor the progress. Let's try that again. To date, 309 commercial customers on the South Coast received letters about the guidelines and regulations about grease traps. Joint stakeholder meetings are ongoing to assess and monitor the progress of this much needed change for the South Coast sewer system, as we need to limit the disposal of fogs into the sewer. We will then use this same multi-pronged approach with the Bridgetown network and then onto the rest of the island to ensure that all Barbadians are made aware of the best practices for fog disposals. In short, we've achieved a state of normalcy with respect to the South Coast sewer system, and we're taking steps inclusive of a continuous maintenance of the entire sewer network and a fogs program to prevent an occurrence of what was allowed to happen that became known as the South Coast sewage crisis. There are a lot of people that I wish to thank because this was a monumental task. We achieved success, I would say, in this endeavor. We achieved timelines that people thought were impossible. The ministry, my ministry, the Barbados Water Authority, the contractors pulled out all the stops, and it was a crisis. It required a crisis response. We could not operate with the normal time frames that we use to do projects in Barbados, and I was heartened and amazed to see the level of work, the ethics of those involved, and the contribution of everybody going over and above the call for us to actually achieve this in the time span we were able to achieve it. I mean, we've come in 8 months from sewage openly on the street to a situation where both of the sewer lines effectively have been repaired. The South Coast sewage plant is operating at pretty much its capacity at the moment. The Graham Hall swamp, which was receiving raw sewage for over 3 years, is on the rebound. Fish have come back. The water quality is great. The smells have gone down. The mosquitoes have been controlled. We have had the Barbados Water Authority, in conjunction with the Ministry of Health, have been cleaning all of the areas around the swamp. It has been a mammoth task, and we've been doing all at the same time. We did not have the luxury of moving from task to task and doing one and finishing that before moving on to the next. So you had a situation where we were addressing all of the problems and the complaints at the same time, using all of the manpower within the Barbados Water Authority and provided by our contractors. And I want to thank everybody for the Herculean effort that this entailed. Now, I believe in calling names. So there's a list of people that I specifically want to mention who were involved in the Outfall project. First of all, the general manager of the Barbados Water Authority, Keith Roy Halliday. Keith Roy had a number of sleepless nights, and he was a champion in this process. So Keith, thank you.
Thank you, Minister.
The project director, Dr. John Mwanza. Former project manager, Stephen Lindo. Mr. Grafton Bess, who was the chief cook and bottle washer. Grafton is a person who, when I started, literally took me through the sewer lines. He met me on an afternoon, explained to me how the sewer network worked, showed me what a coupling was, showed me, he's the one who actually got me in the tractor trying to have the ceremonial groundbreaking, which didn't work. Obviously, I'm not a good tractor operator. But Grafton was the chief cook and bottle washer, but he fell ill somewhere in the process, and so he was not on hand at the actual completion, but his contribution to the project has to be recognized and appreciated. The project director, Darian Taylor. Project engineer, Dylan Clark Herbert. Mains installation crew, Sheridan Grosvenor, David Evelyn, Dwayne Cadu, John Waldron, Victor Hunt, and John Trotman, the driver. The mains installation crew number 2, Ferdinand Ford, the supervisor, Kurt Henry, David Ward, Randy Weeks, Glenroy Walton, Corey Callender, James Watson, Aaron Mays, and Tanya Alsop, who's the site attendant. For the plumbing crew, Neil Light. I don't like to single people out of teams, but in this instance, I actually have to single Neil Light in. Neil was a star. Neil did not know the meaning of the word no. He took every shift that he could. He was on hand when we had the emergencies. He was on hand. Sometimes we had to do things on very short scheduling. He was on hand. In one instance, Neil went to his sister's funeral and came straight back because we were undergoing a task the evening. So Neil was a star, and I have to single him out there. Davin Wiggins, this is also the plumbing crew. Davin Wiggins, Gregory Allen, Stephen Devonish, Wayne Clark, Ramon Sargent. The dewatering crew, Patrick Walks and Gregory Cumbatch. The heavy equipment, pipe delivery and installation crew, Wendell Jordan, David Skeet, Trevor Bullen, Andre Phillips, Clevis Ward, and Kevin Holder. Special praise should be given to Sheridan Grosvenor and his team, especially Dwayne Cadu, who would have worked alone in conditions other persons shirt away from. And y'all can imagine we're dealing with sewage, so I need not break that down any further than that. Well, praise should also be given to Neil Light, who's accommodated every request, and Ferdinand Ford, the foreman in charge of the other mains crew, who would have worked himself to make sure the job was done and not only supervising. So Ferdinand did not just do his job, but he pitched in hands-on. He filled a hole where there was a shortage of labor. Effectively, everybody in this project did their job and any other jobs that came up. We often hear people not wanting to do more than what their duty was. This was not the case with this project. We had a situation where everybody pitched in, and people actually came out at the end of the day with skills they did not have going in because they work across divisions. So I want to thank all of the staff who did this. Special thanks as well to Project Recycle and Mr. Anderson Cherry, who worked tirelessly and supported the Barbados Water Authority at every turn and responded to every call out for emergency situations, and there were quite a few. I note that the board has left themselves out of the thank you list. So I want to thank the entire board, especially the chair, Ms. Leodean Worrell, who was hands-on in this process. I had been accustomed going down there on the nights and supporting the fellas when they were working through all hours, and on a number of occasions, Ms. Worrell turned up, sometimes with snacks, and she was hands-on and lent her support in a most tangible way, and Chair, I want to thank you for that. I also want to thank Dr. Hugh Seeley, who is the government's advisor on water and energy, among other things. Hugh effectively assumed the role of assistant project manager. He updated me every single morning and every single afternoon as to what was going on, and it bodes, I keep speaking in superlatives, but it's because I have to. It bodes very, very well the amount of dedication that was shown on this project by everybody involved. Finally, thanks goes out to the people of Barbados who suffered long and endured a crisis which was for the most part avoidable. I am grateful for the patience and tolerance over the last 8 months and the encouragement to the Barbados Water Authority team and to myself personally as we work to address this crisis and return normalcy to the south coast of Barbados. Thank you.